It cracks me up when I hear political candidates, pundits, or everyday folk say, we need to return to the glory days where traditional values reigned. Really? If you ask them, okay, when were the glory days that you speak of? The glory days of prosperity and health and traditional values. What decade in the history of America do you deem as the best decade? Economically, socially, and culturally. Think about that for yourself. Which decade would you pick? Well, across generations, across all socioeconomic groups, people overwhelmingly point to one decade, the 1950s. Is that the decade that you were thinking about? The 1950s is remembered as, quote unquote, the golden age of middle class prosperity in America. At least it's how it's remembered. What's fascinating to me about the nostalgia for the 1950s is how easy it is to disprove that assertion that we were better off then than we are today by almost any economic or social or societal measure that there is. The median American household and our society as a whole is so much better off today than we were in any period during the 1950s. I'm telling you, it is not even close. Economically, median household income adjusted for inflation is more than 2 times today than it was in the 1950s. Life expectancy, access to medical care, education access and attainment, most any metric that you want to think about, we are better off today, as in dramatically better off today than we were in the 1950s. In the 1950s, diseases were rampant. Children still suffered from a lot of terrible diseases, including measles and mumps and chickenpox and scarlet fever and polio and others. The very common vaccines that we have today have saved millions of children, then adults, from terrible fates. In the 1950s, only a third graduated high school. Only 6% of the country had a bachelor's degree or higher. African Americans, 1/3 never graduated elementary school. Only 14% graduated high school, and 2.2% ever went to college. On the whole, more people failed out of elementary school than ever graduated college or higher. Almost all third world countries today have a better educational attainment today than all whites in the United States had in the 1950s. And then, tell me which of these charming Norman Rockwell perceived features you want back from the 1950s. Sexism. Women could not get credit cards. They could not use birth control pills. They could not get an Ivy League education, and military positions were greatly reduced. Mom was expected to cook with pearls on. Girls were expected to go to school in dresses only. And these were the ads, social messages of the day. Quote, if your husband ever finds out that you're not using fresh coffee, you'll be spanked. That's in an ad. Well, at least you didn't burn the Schlitz beer, as his wife in an apron and heels, who's been slaving over a hot stove, literally cries on her man's shoulder. Or this one, show her it's a man's world, with the wife on her knees after bringing her man breakfast in bed. And this one, men are better than women. It reads, indoors, women are useful, even pleasant. On a mountain, they're something of a drag. Don't go hauling him up a mountain as his wife dangles from a rope just to show off your Drummond climbing sweater. Or do you want your segregation and open racism back? Water fountains labeled whites only and coloreds. Signs on restaurants above the doors, no coloreds. Businesses that will only do business with whites only. You almost never saw a black person on TV or in magazine ads. Oh, and let's not forget, doctors were featured in and recommending cigarettes. Most every adult smoked cigarettes in the 1950s, and the sidewalks and gutters were full of cigarette butts. Never mind the other inconveniences of black and white TVs with only 4 channels. Most houses had no showers, only bathtubs, and usually only one bathroom in the house. No seat belts or child seats if you were in a car accident. You just collided with the metal dashboard and broke your face, if you were lucky. If you were unlucky, you were impaled on the snapped-off steering column and got a free ride to the morgue. McCarthyism was spreading conspiracy and anti-Semitism, ruining many people's careers through accusations, innuendos, and often false assertions. We marginalized the disabled. We lobotomized the depressed. And homophobia was rampant. Kids were taught to duck and cover under their desks in case of a nuclear bomb hit their school. And the Korean War killed 12 times more Americans than died on 9/11 and wounded 100,000 more. Oh, and finally, the top marginal tax rate was 91% in the 1950s. Are those the glory days for which you pine to return?